Welcome back, Mana TV International viewers, dear friends. We are back with one more segment of Healthy Life, the Vegan Way. Today, we are continuing from where we left off last time, Veganism Mythbusters. Last time, we spoke about our doctors and Avinash, our guest Avinashji. We spoke about difference between veganism and vegetarianism. We spoke about the different sources of proteins, whole food plant-based diet or vegan diet, and also spoke about how vegan diet is a holistic, or it's a complete diet which has all the proteins you need, the vitamins, vitamin D, calcium, etc. We spoke about all of that. So today we are going to continue talking more about different aspects of nutrition of a vegan or whole food plant-based diet. So let's continue our discussion with the most essential vitamin or supplement we talk about, B12, when it comes to veganism. And, the thought is, where are you going to get B12? And first of all, why is B12 essential? So let's talk to our esteemed guests, our experts, Dr. Shah and Dr. Kasubai. And Avinash will also have his, his views on the same topic. So, Dr. Shah, can you please explain to us why is B12 so essential?
Is very, very important vitamin for us. The vitamins which are really found in the nature are manufactured by the bacteria, not necessarily by an individual animals or including us. We cannot manufacture our B12, and neither can cows or chicken or lamb or goat. They do not manufacture their own B12. B12 is manufactured by bacteria. Now, the difference comes in when the cows are given the feed. It's not a sterilized or, that type of feed. They just get it from the farm, give it to the cows. So that feed has a lot of bacteria in them. And many bacteria can be bad, but many bacteria are good bacteria. They actually help you go into the guts and actually manufacture B12 for the animal. So when the cows eat that feed, cows' intestines, the bacteria produce the B12. So when you consume the beef or the dairy products and all that, of course, that B12 gets transferred onto your body. If we eat those bacteria, then our intestines will also manufacture B12. But we are living in a very hygienic society. We irradiate everything, we cleanse out everything, soap and water and this and that. All these cleansing agents and all that literally kills all the healthy bacteria which can be available in our diet. So we don't get the bacteria, so we don't manufacture the B12. That's why we become B12 deficient. But supposing we were living in a jungle, in a forest, and we were plucking up the fruits from a tree, we're not going to wash it with soap and water and this and that. And any kind of detergents we're not going to be using, won't be available. So there will be plenty of bacteria available to us. If we get thirsty, what do? You drink from the streams, and streams have billions and billions of bacteria. And like I said, many bacteria are good for us. But unfortunately, with the sterile society that we are living in, we're losing advantage. And yes, we spray everything with Lysol here and that, we cleanse out everything. So that is the one disadvantage of living in a sterilized society. So that's why we become B12 deficient. But yes, B12 is extremely important, and it is a water-soluble vitamin, like vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. They are fat-soluble. So that you can. Now, a lot of myth is that you need a very high dose of B12. Some of these tablets go up to 5,000 microgram. It's not necessary at all. Your daily need is 2.46 microgram, literally. So the minimum amount, even like 50 microgram, if it's available, or of the B12 is enough, but you need to take it every single day. You cannot say that, okay, I take 5,000 and I'll take it every other day. That doesn't work. But a lot of vegetarians come in my practice and they do not take B12, and they have a lot of symptoms, like that they have neuropathies and mental functions get deteriorated. And so once they start taking B12, including myself, when I became vegan, I was not aware of it in the beginning, but eventually I feel wonderful. You feel a lot of vitality, and your nerve functions work properly and everything. So
I was given prescription vitamins by my physician. So I was deficient in B12 and other vitamins. So the vegetarian diet did not help me that way either. So it's a myth that you need to eat meat or milk or something like that to get all the vitamins. Plus, 60% of the over 60% of the world's antibiotic production is fed to the factory farmed animals, and they are given antibiotics whether they are sick or not. So all those antibiotics are killing those bacteria anyway.
Correct.
So even the animals are fed artificially made vitamin B12.
I
So
see.
we don't
Good.
need to
Good
take
point.
vitamin B12 indirectly like that. We can directly take it as a supplement
Supplement.
and bypass the dairy and meat.
Yeah. And
You
yeah,
get vitamin B12 deficiency from your inability to absorb because something's wrong with your stomach lining.
that's a difference.
Autoimmune disease. So it's not just what you're eating; it's also your own body not absorbing it very well.
Yeah.
So multiple reasons why
If you have that, no matter how much meat you will eat, you won't. You'll be still.
You want that absorb. Then you need shots. Then you need the shots.
Yeah.
So that's a different situation when you have a deficiency of the factor which are responsible for absorbing the B12. But I can echo Avinashji, what he says, that I have a lot of vegetarians in my practice. They're consuming dairy products, but their B12 levels are invariably low because they don't eat meat. So vegetarians are not immune from B12 deficiency.
A popular belief is, do vegans have to take extra supplements? Any more than usual?
The only thing I recommend is the B12 and like I said, vitamin D. Other than that, I do not recommend any supplements or multivitamins. The whole food plant-based diet is so complete that you're getting all the vitamins, all the nutrients, and all the phytonutrients and micronutrients, macronutrients, and of course, well-balanced protein, fats, and everything. There is really no need for it. In fact, there was a study that came out that the people who take multivitamins, they have a 2.46% higher chance of dying. Because if you understand, the vitamins which are found in the nature are synthetic chemicals. The only real vitamin is available is the B12 because there is a special bacteria called Euglenia. So they genetically modify them and make the Euglenia manufacture B12 for us. So that's really authentic. But if you really understand the whole development of the nature that started from the first DNA is all oriented to the left. It's called levo compounds. Levo means left. So if you look at the organic molecule, it's all pointed to the left. And somehow that's what nature has chosen. The whole life cycle on the planet of Earth is all oriented to the left. But the problem is the left-oriented molecules cannot be manufactured in a factory. So what they do is they make a dextro version of it, the right-oriented molecules. So they are like same kind of molecules, but they're 180 degrees apart. But in organic chemistry, many people might know that if you shift an atom 5 degrees, whole property changes. This is not 5 degrees. This is 180 degrees apart. So these are junk chemicals. So really, there is no need for vitamins. In fact, the more vitamins are needed if you are taking the meats and dairy products because there are not enough vitamins in that. To do that, you will have to take whole food plant-based diet with leafy vegetables and all that anyway. So might as well shift everything and not worry about the other problems with the animal food diet. So the synthetic chemicals are it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. So nobody's going to intervene because it keeps everybody's pockets happy. The pharmaceutical companies are happy. The government is happy. They're collecting the tax on it. And people invariably feel tired and fatigued in these days. People are running and all that. So they feel tired at the end of the day. They have something to do. So they take vitamins. They think that they're getting better. But they're not. They're not really.
And just to add, Dr. Shah, they are nutraceuticals, so they don't have to undergo an FDA approval process.
Yes, correct. Yes.
You don't have to show in randomized control trials, which is the usual evidence base that this is actually effective. Just to add one more, Kalindi, there's another talk about this omega-3 fatty acids, right?
Yes. That's
a big sort of talk about it. But listen, you get it in soybeans, you get it in hemp seeds, you get it in flax seeds, you get it in walnuts. This is the seeds that you're supposed to have in whole plant-based food. And if you have enough of this, you really don't need to supplement an omega-3 fatty acid. And the other thing they mentioned is iron. And there are two differences, right? The iron that you get from an animal product and from a plant product is a huge difference. The heme iron, as you get from an animal product, is actually very oxidative. That means it's got properties which causes inflammation. While the iron that you get from plant-based proteins and plant-based products are basically which cause less amount of inflammation or cause no inflammation. So there's a difference also in the iron that you get from animal products and plant-based products. So yeah, I agree. If you eat good, healthy food, you don't need omega-3 fatty acids. You don't need iron. You have plenty of that in green leafy vegetables and nuts.
And the heme part of the beef has been, the iron part has been also linked with the colon cancer, because excessive iron in the beef has been as one of the causes that could be linked with the colon cancer, which has been very established. The beef causes the colon cancer, no question about that. So
that's why relatively the doctors without nutrition education, they say, oh, you should not eat red meat, you start eating white meat like chicken and fish are healthy, but healthy compared to beef, not healthy compared to a vegan diet.
Right.
correct. Mhm.
Absolutely. And these are some great points. So from the DNA to the structure, all the way to how the molecule or how the vitamin is processed by our body. What a great explanation, doctors and Nashti. It's amazing. And I hope our viewers will find this information extremely useful. And the myth that surrounds the vegan diet, that it is lacking so much nutrition, and we hope we have clarified that, right? So the next one, a lot of people believe that honey is vegan. They're saying, why is honey not vegan? So
I think Avinash has spent a lot of research.
Avinash, why don't you?
I want him to say something about it.
Well, veganism is not just about health, it is about ethics and morality too. And so vegans believe that we should live a life that is causing least harm to other lives on the earth. And so when we take honey from a bee, we are taking away something that it has made for itself. And that is why honey is not vegan. Honey is made by bees for their winter food needs and stored. And they spend so much effort. They collect little bits of nectar from flowers, and then they fan their wings and evaporate the nectar and make honey. And it takes like a few months. And then we come along and say, oh, the beehive is now full, so let us take some plates out.
Yeah, and while collecting the meat, the honey, it does kill a lot of
right.
A lot of bees they die.
And it's again, to add, it's sugar, right? Sugar is toxic. You don't want to have too much of honey too.
There are some beliefs that it also contains some antigens that are local to the local biology. So if somebody has, for example, allergy of some plant, eating local honey will cure it. And there are some beliefs like that. It could be true, it could be false, but to take honey just for that kind of thing, if you take it medicinally, that's fine. But we never do anything in a small portion. We always industrialize everything and take maximum advantage of the any being that is defenseless.
So that brings us to our next myth, and which I find everybody really thinks when you say you're vegan, oh wow, so your food is expensive. So is veganism really expensive? What do you say?
So I can start with that. Quickly, everybody knows, you go to a grocery store, you see the meat. Meat is the costliest part in the grocery store, and that is the protein you get.
No brainer.
This one. Right. It's costly, but it's also subsidized by the government.
Yes.
Dairy is subsidized by the government. Despite of that, meat is costlier than any other protein source coming from plant-based. So that is obviously a big myth. Secondly, if you look at evidence in England, they did a study and they found that if you are having a predominantly plant-based compared to meat, you're saving around $750 a year. So this is again evidence that if you're having less amount of meat, you're saving more at the end. Now, the other thing is also, while you have plant-based, you're obviously having less amount of chronic diseases. So you have less diabetes, less hypertension, etc. So you're saving less on the health.
Tons
right?
of
You're healthier, you're saving money. It's a win-win situation here.
Absolutely.
And simple comparison, a bag of dried beans or a can of beans versus any meat or chicken or dairy, anything you buy, right? So
Like
very
if you have one cup of chicken will cost you $3. One can of beans will give you 60 cents, will cost 60 cents. And both have equal amount of protein, 15 grams. So you really, and you're getting the cholesterol and all these other things on top of that.
right. So
And you're damaging the environment at the same time, which is the huge cost, right?
Absolutely.
The whole climate crisis is partly because of our falling and eating a lot of meat and dairy products, really. So
That
we will be discussing that at length.
the next one, yeah, absolutely.
It also depends on what you eat, whether you are vegan or not vegan. Suppose you are a vegan and you want to eat like only Hawaiian made papaya or something every day, it is going to cost you a lot of money.
Right.
But if you are a vegan and if you want to eat rice and beans and local produce, it's not going to cost you any more than traditional or regular non-vegan meals. Even when you open the paper, non-vegan foods, like if you say I want to eat only lobster and caviar, then you are going to eat your savings pretty quickly. So it depends on what you eat. Arvind, the activist, is an Indian activist, and he has made a video very recently, last week, and he shows that he eats 3 chapatis, tamarind rice, and a potato and chickpea curry, and it cost him only 50 rupees to eat vegan. So he has actually demonstrated that vegan food is not costly to Indians.
And especially the fast food restaurants, they serve very cheap meat, but we have no idea what goes behind that meat.
Like the quality.
The animals are abused and injected with the hormones and the antibiotics and chemicals and everything. And then they say, okay, we'll give you 99 cents for a burger. Yeah, it seems cheap, but at what cost?
That's true.
At the cost of your health.
Yes, at the cost of your health, absolutely. And the last question, for a lot of people think veganism it's just a choice of diet. As we all know, veganism is not just about your food, not just about your diet, it's an overall lifestyle. So can we elaborate on that? What does it mean to be a vegan?
What can I say is like there are plenty of diets available, right? There is a keto diet and there is a Mediterranean diet and this diet, and there are so many diets available. There is only one diet that speaks for compassion. So I have a lot of people come and tell me, say, Doc, this is the best thing you told me to do. And I, of course, start from the health perspective. Yes, from the cholesterol and weight control and sugar and all those things, they get better and all that. But he says, I just somehow feel so good about it. And nobody has been able to figure it out. And I have been into a lot of spirituality, meditation, and yoga and all that. The way I look at it, by going vegan, you're actually making a point that you're not going to harm any animals. You're going to walk away from the animals. When in a very subtle way, you may not know, for the people who are eating meat, they may not know, but all those animals, when they are sacrificed, they go through a lot of agony, anxiety, the stress, and somehow in a very subtle way, it might be transferring to them. And knowing that they are suffering and they're still eating, somehow there is a suppression attitude going on. Say, forget about it. This is my food and all that. But mind does not forget. So when people do go vegan, somehow they feel liberated that they did something good, not just for their body, but for their children, for their family, and for the world, and for the animals that they were harassing for all these years. So that kind of sensation. So yeah, I agree. Veganism is not just a diet. It's a lot more than that. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. And no wonder there are billions and millions of people are becoming vegan. So that is definitely rightfully so. Nations and nations, Israel and UK and Germany, and there are many percentage of the people are going whole food plant-based. So definitely there is something to it.
And it's the reason why it is called a lifestyle is because there are many other parts of our life except for food that exploits animals or depends on animals. For example, entertainment. Right. We go to circuses, we go to zoos, we go to aquariums, and we don't need to do that. We go to SeaWorld, we need to stop that because those animals swim like 50 to 100 miles a day, have to be cooped up in a little tank for all their life just so that we can be entertained for a few hours. we wear woolen clothes. I mean, there is no need for woolen clothes anymore because we have better than wool substitutes available, and no animals are involved in that. Wool, silk, all those things.
The fur
We don't need to.
industry. The fur
Yeah,
industry.
we have artificial textiles now that can mimic leather and many other animal skins. So we don't need to kill animals for leather. So veganism is a lifestyle, and it includes many other aspects of our lives.
It makes you feel good. Absolutely.
It's a basic respect to nature, right? It's respect
Yes.
to all the sentient beings around you. You're respecting the plants, the earth, yourself, mostly yourself first, and everything else too. So it's just a respect that you're showing to the world, and that gives it back. It comes back to you. Karma works out here.
Yeah. One of my first patient who really showed a drop in her cholesterol. Before she went vegan, I asked her because she came to me after going to a couple of other doctors, and they said, "Doc, I want to reduce my cholesterol, but I don't want to, take a pill." So I asked her only one question. I said, "If you try to catch something, it runs away. What would you do?" And believe me, 99 out of 100 people say, "I'll go after because I want to catch." But then somehow she got the answer. She started smiling. He says, "Doc, I got the answer. These animals have legs. Why are they running away? Because they want to save their life. And trees don't run away. Plants don't run away. On the contrary, when the apples come on the tree, the branches come down. They say, 'Come, eat the apples.' Maybe the seeds will propagate further, and you will be part of a running cycle of nature. Once you kill a cow, there is no more birth for the cow. No more calves can be born. You're breaking the cycle. So these are the subtle points, but it comes in the way in a very little when you go deep within. And when your son doesn't want to eat meat and you're forcing them, it makes you think that what did the consciousness want you to do? The consciousness, when it's very rife in children and very so lively, they don't want to eat meat. They don't want to kill the animal. They hug the animals. What is it telling you? Nature wants you to be compassionate. So these are subtle points which we can talk about later. But yes, veganism is definitely a lifestyle change.
Wow, what a wonderful explanation, Dr. Shah, Dr. Kasaba, and Avinashji. I hope you all know from where we are coming that it is not just about your own health. Even if you start at your own health, you are actually helping other beings. And if not, not being, it's also your own planet. So veganism is a lifestyle. It is not just a diet, a lifestyle which teaches you compassion towards other beings, and compassion towards your own earth, your own planet. So we hope you viewers in today's show helped you understand many more, common myths about veganism, and you understand they are just myths. Veganism is not going to, you're not going to be malnutrition. You're not going to have any malnutrition. You're not going to lack proteins or carbohydrates or any of your essential vitamins, antioxidants. In fact, whole food plant-based diet is full of all the essential nutrients that you need. So vegan diet is a complete diet. And last but not the least, veganism is a lifestyle. And I hope we all have convinced you by now. At least give it a try. Try veganism, try healthy life the vegan way. Thank you very much, viewers. And thank you, Dr. Shah, Dr. Kasubai, and Avinashji.